Ladies and gentlemen, lights up, music fades, a pause, then, boom, with full energy. You better sit up straight and listen close, because what I'm about to say, this ain't just a speech, it's a declaration. A fire, a roar from one, 4 billion hearts beating in one rhythm. Let me tell you this loud and clear, no force, and I mean no force, can stop India now. See, some people out there still think of India as a country trying to catch up, trying to make it. Let me tell y'all something. India ain't trying anymore. India is doing. We're not behind. We're not waiting. We're not asking permission. We are taking our seat at the table, and guess what? We're bringing our own damn chair. Now I know some of y'all might be thinking, what makes you so sure? Why should you sit through this whole speech? Why should you care? Because when you hear what I'm about to tell you, you'll realize this isn't just about India, it's about possibility. It's about what happens when a nation with soul, spirit, and swagger decides it's time. It's about you, your belief, and your role in what's about to become the greatest story of this century. You want to see what unstoppable looks like. You want to feel what destiny sounds like. Then stay with me, because by the time I'm done, you're gonna be saying it too. No force can stop India now. India's story is not one of overnight success. It is a saga of survival, struggle, and supreme resilience. A land that has been tested by time, invaded by empires, drained by colonizers, and divided by politics, yet every single time it stood back up. And not just stood up, it roared back. This country has been bruised, but never broken. India was once the richest civilization on earth, a beacon of knowledge, trade, and philosophy. People from across continents came here for wisdom, for wealth, for wonder. From the universities of Takshashila to the gold-covered temples of the south, India was a global marvel. But history didn't play fair. It sent wave after wave of challenges. Kingdoms fell, invaders arrived, empires changed hands, and still, the spirit of India didn't vanish. It adapted, evolved, and waited. Then came the biggest blow of all colonial rule. Over 200 years of exploitation, manipulation, and suppression. India was robbed not just of its riches, but of its voice. The world saw a starving nation bent under chains. But what the world didn't see was that behind those chains burned a fire, the fire of revolution, of silent courage, of people who refused to forget who they were. That fire led to a freedom movement unlike any other, a movement powered not by weapons, but by will. Mahatma Gandhi didn't pick up a sword. He picked up truth. He picked up nonviolence, and with that, he moved an entire empire. India didn't just win independence, it rewrote the rules of what liberation could look like. But freedom was not the finish line. It was the starting block. The partition came with blood, trauma, and broken homes. A brand. New nation had to figure itself out from scratch. No wealth, few resources, and millions of mouths to feed. And yet India did not complain. It created. It didn't wait for help. It built. It laid the foundations of democracy, of industry, of education. It sent satellites into space when people said it couldn't even feed itself. It built a nuclear program, a world-class IT sector, a pharma industry, and a service economy, all while keeping its head down and its hope up. Every decade brought new battles, poverty, political instability, terrorism, natural disasters. And let's not forget, every time India rose, someone tried to doubt it again. But here's what they didn't get. India was never playing for the short game. It was preparing itself. Slowly, steadily, quietly becoming one of the biggest economies in the world, quietly becoming the brain behind Silicon Valley, quietly becoming the voice of the global South. A country that once had to beg for aid is now giving aid. A country that was once colonized is now defining global conversations on data, AI, climate, and diplomacy. The beauty of India's resilience lies in its memory. It remembers the pain, but it doesn't stay stuck in it. It remembers the past, but it refuses to be defined by it. This country has seen kings and tyrants, saints and rebels, and yet every single time it found its way forward. That's the DNA of India, the ability to bend without breaking, to fall without failing, to rise without resentment. You can try to divide it, doubt it, delay it, but you can never defeat it, because the strength of India doesn't come from power. It comes from people. From the farmer in Punjab to the coder in Bangalore, from the artist in Kolkata to the soldier in Siachen, this is a country made of comeback stories stitched together by courage. That resilience is not history, it's right now. It's the heartbeat of a billion dreams that refuse to back down. Once upon a time, the world looked at India and saw a country full of problems. Now, the world looks at India and sees a country full of solutions. That's the transformation, that's the turnaround, and it's all thanks to one unstoppable force, innovation. India has gone from being a land of call centers and back-office support to becoming the brain behind some of the most cutting-edge technologies in the world. And it didn't happen by accident. It happened because India doesn't just adopt innovation, it adapts it, localizes it, and scales it in a way no one else can. Let's take a step back. Just a couple of decades ago, people doubted whether India could even support basic internet for its population. Fast forward to now, and India has one of the world's largest internet user bases, with some of the cheapest data costs on the planet. This isn't just tech adoption, this is digital empowerment. Villages that didn't even have electricity now have digital payments. Farmers are checking market rates on their phones. A chewala on a street corner can scan a QR code and get paid instantly. This isn't a dream, this is real, and it's happening every day at every level. India's digital leap didn't stop at smartphones. It jumped into space. We went from watching space launches on black and white TV to launching a mission to the moon and doing it at one of the lowest costs in space history. When India's Chandrayaan-3 landed on the lunar South Pole, the world watched in awe, not just because of the achievement, but because of how India achieved it with frugality, brilliance, and sheer determination. That mission wasn't just a scientific feat. It was a message. India isn't following the space race anymore. It's leading it. Now let's talk startups. 10 years ago, if you said India would be home to 100+ unicorns, people would have laughed. Now, India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. These aren't just copycat companies either. These are bold, homegrown ventures solving uniquely Indian problems. Health tech, agri-tech, fintech, you name it, and India has a startup doing something revolutionary with it. And the magic isn't just in the technology, it's in the scale. What works in India can work anywhere. Because if you can make a system handle 1 billion people here, you can make it work across the planet. And then there's the real engine behind this innovation, India's tech talent. You want CEO? India's got 'em running Google, Microsoft, Adobe, IBM, and more. But beyond the headlines are the lacks of engineers, developers, and thinkers shaping the world's digital future. Silicon Valley isn't just powered by Indian brains, it's inspired by Indian ambition. From AI to blockchain, cybersecurity to biotech, India's fingerprints are all over the global innovation map. But here's what makes it even more powerful. This tech revolution isn't top down. It's grassroots. It's students learning to code in rural classrooms. It's women entrepreneurs building apps that change lives in their communities. It's kids in Tier 2 cities launching tech ventures on Instagram and scaling them on WhatsApp. This is bottom-up brilliance. This is the democratization of digital power, and it's happening at a speed the world can't keep up with. See, the old world order said that innovation came from the West and trickled down. The new world knows better. It flows from everywhere, and it flows strong from India, because here innovation isn't just about making life easier. It's about making life possible for millions. It's about lifting people out of poverty, empowering the voiceless, and rewriting what progress looks like. India's greatest strength right now isn't buried under the ground in oil or gold. It's walking, talking, and dreaming in classrooms, offices, farms, and factories. It's not a natural resource, it's a human one, and it comes in the form of the largest youth population on the planet. Over 65% of India's people are under the age of 35. That means this nation isn't just alive, it's electric. It's buzzing with energy, ideas, hustle, and hunger. This is not a statistic. This is a storm waiting to be unleashed, a force of ambition that no power in the world can hold back. You walk through the streets of any Indian city, and what do you see? You see 20. Something's running startups from shared Wi-Fi cafes. You see college kids learning machine learning off YouTube at midnight. You see interns working 3 jobs just to get ahead. This generation isn't asking for handouts. They're demanding opportunities, and they're not scared to fail, because they know in this India, failure is not the end, it's fuel. This youth power isn't just in the metros, it's in the villages. It's in small towns where kids are coding in regional languages. It's in tribal communities where students are building robots out of scrap. It's in slums where children dream bigger than their circumstances. See, what's happening in India right now isn't just a demographic shift. It's a cultural shift. The old idea of get a safe job and settle is being replaced with take a risk and rise. This generation wants to build, to change, to own their future. And when you combine that fire with 4 billion people, you don't get growth. You get a revolution. Let's be real, the world is aging. Most developed countries are looking at shrinking workforces and retiring talent. But India, we're just getting warmed up. We've got millions entering the workforce every year. Millions who speak multiple languages, adapt fast, learn faster, and are digitally native. These are not followers. These are future leaders. And guess what? The world's already watching. That's why global companies are setting up shop here, not for cheap labor anymore, but for smart talent. Because Indian youth don't just execute, they innovate. They don't just code, they create. But this isn't just about economics. It's about identity. This new generation of Indians is proud of who they are, proud of their roots, their culture, their languages, their music, their festivals, their food. This pride doesn't divide, it drives, it fuels confidence. It makes a young Indian stand up and say, "We don't need to be anyone else. We are enough. We are ready." And that confidence, that quiet fire, is more powerful than any military, any policy, any headline. You see, youth is not just a phase of life. It's a mindset. It's a refusal to settle. And when that mindset grips a country as big, as ancient, and as determined as India, change is not just coming, it's guaranteed. This generation is voting differently, thinking differently, building differently. They are rewriting India's story in real time. They're not waiting for permission. They're claiming their place online and offline, in boardrooms and ballot boxes, in science labs and film studios. This is India's moment, yes, but more importantly, this is India's youth moment. The world better take notice, because these young minds, they're not just going to push India forward, they're going to launch it into the future. There was a time when India was invited to the global stage just to be part of the audience, to watch, to listen, maybe to follow instructions. But that time is over, because today India isn't just sitting at the table. India is shaping the conversation. This country, once underestimated and overlooked, is now one of the most influential voices in global diplomacy, policy, and peacekeeping. And it's not demanding attention, it's earning it, one move at a time. When India speaks now, the world listens. When India acts, nations take notice. And this isn't because India has become louder, it's because it has become smarter, stronger, and more strategic. It's mastering the art of soft power and combining it with hard results. It's not flexing military might or throwing money around recklessly. It's playing the long game, the smart game, the game of trust, partnership, and global leadership. Take a look at the way India handled its presidency of the G20. It wasn't just an event, it was a moment, a statement. India brought together leaders from across the world, not just from the wealthy West, but from the global South, from Africa, from Asia, from Latin America. And instead of focusing only on traditional economic issues, India raised real concerns: climate action, digital access, inclusive development. This wasn't a power play. It was a people-first approach. And it worked, because it showed that India is not just here for itself, it's here for everyone. India is becoming the bridge between East and West, North and South, tradition and technology. Whether it's negotiating peace deals, providing humanitarian aid, or taking a stand at the United Nations, India has emerged as a balanced, mature, and reliable partner. It doesn't rush into wars, but it doesn't stay silent on justice. It's firm on its values, flexible in its methods, and fearless in its diplomacy. And that's exactly why so many countries are turning to India, not just for trade, but for trust. And let's talk about global crises. When COVID hit, who stepped up? While richer countries hoarded vaccines, India became the pharmacy of the world, shipping out millions of life, saving doses to nations that needed help. That wasn't charity. That was character, and character is what earns influence. From Sri Lanka to Africa to the Caribbean, India's diplomatic efforts are powered not by dominance, but by dignity, and that dignity is reshaping alliances everywhere. Then there's India's growing role in the world economy. It's not just exporting software and steel. It's exporting stability. In a world shaken by inflation, conflict, and division, India is offering a model of economic reform blended with democratic governance. Investors are taking notice, leaders are reaching out, and international organizations are adjusting their models because they know the next phase of global growth won't happen without India. It will happen because of India. Culturally, too, India is leaving a footprint that no one can ignore. From Bollywood to yoga, from cuisine to digital tech, India's influence is touching lives in ways far deeper than borders. It's not colonizing minds. It's connecting them. The world is learning Hindi words, watching Indian films, and respecting Indian traditions not because they're being forced to, but because they're inspired to. That's real power. That's how true influence works. This is no longer the India of cautious diplomacy and delayed decisions. This is the India of confidence, calm, clear, and courageous on the global stage. It's not trying to copy anyone. It's writing its own playbook. Quietly but surely, it is turning its past pain into present pride and future possibility, because India doesn't just want peace. It wants progress, and not just for itself, for the world. There's something about India that no statistic can measure and no headline can fully explain, and that is its spirit. A spirit born out of something incredibly rare, unity in the middle of breathtaking diversity. India is not one color, one language, one idea, or one religion. It's a billion voices, a million ways of life, and one beating heart. And what holds all of this together isn't force, it's pride, cultural pride, shared pride. That's what makes India not just a country but a civilization. Let's talk facts. Over 4 billion people, more than 22 official languages, hundreds of dialects, every religion on the planet practiced freely, every festival celebrated with full joy, every region with its own food, its own music, its own dress, its own rhythm, and yet, somehow, one flag, one anthem, one identity. People from the outside look at India and wonder how it even functions with so much difference. But for us, that's the point. That difference is the beauty. That chaos is the harmony. Because in India, diversity isn't a challenge. It's our superpower. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, there is no one way to be Indian, and yet we're all Indians. A Muslim woman in Hyderabad, a Sikh farmer in Punjab, a Tamil coder in Chennai, a tribal artist in Odisha, a Buddhist monk in Ladakh, they may live vastly different lives, but they carry the same emotional DNA. That deep-rooted belief, this is my land, this is my people, this is my story, and that belief is what no invader, no war, no policy, and no power could ever erase. This cultural richness isn't something India is trying to revive, it's something it's living every single day. In its temples and mosques, in its ancient scriptures and modern street art, in its traditional dance forms and viral memes, in its village rituals and metropolitan mindsets, in every corner of this land, the past and future walk hand in hand, and neither is trying to dominate the other. That's rare, that's powerful, that's Indian, and this pride in our identity is no longer quiet. It's not just in textbooks or tourist brochures. It's in our movies that win Oscars. It's in our designers lighting up global runways. It's in our food reaching every continent, our music blending with hip hop, our classical arts getting new life through digital platforms. India is not just consuming culture anymore. India is exporting it. And not just to entertain, but to inspire, to connect, to tell the world, this is who we are and we're proud of it. But here's where it goes deeper. Cultural pride in India doesn't divide us, it binds us. Because when people see their language, their traditions, their stories celebrated on a national stage, they feel seen, respected, heard, and that creates a bond stronger than laws or borders. It creates emotional loyalty. So even when there are political differences, religious tensions, or regional rivalries, there's always a comeback, a reset, a reminder, we are many, but we are one. That's why you'll see a Hindu man helping build a church, a Christian woman lighting diyas on Diwali, a Muslim family serving langar at a Sikh Gurdwara. These are not exceptions. These are everyday India. The news might show the cracks, but the streets show the strength. Because our culture isn't just about rituals, it's about relationships. That's the foundation, that's the fabric. and no force has ever managed to tear it.